Shalom. So I have my fourth installment. I have to tell you all, with these videos, it takes about an entire day, a complete day, to get them uploaded. I uploaded and it's always saying processing. But I think we know what that is. It's just them trying to prevent it from being posted. So I do hope you all share. Don't worry about asking me if you can share it, because I think that some of the details will help, another TI who may feel like they're unraveling because of these unusual presentations in their lives. And they're not. It's manufactured. So please share it and let them know, to let them know that they're okay. This is external of them. This is not something that their mind is doing. They probably have healthy minds, healthy brains, rather, and this coordinated effort is trying to cause that to diminish. So please share it, and they're not, to ensure them that they're not losing their minds. So this one here, another unusual, strange occurrence with these gang stalkers, something that's manufactured that we have to be watchful of, and just be in the know of what it is, and understand that they try to create fear and uncertainty all around you. And I have to tell you, I've never fallen for the fear, right? I think God used my upbringing to cause me to stand firm from the beginning, because I'm well acquainted with real bad dudes, and every time I see someone from this program, I just don't get a sense that they're some kind of imposing person, some kind of threat to me, because I know I'm very familiar with real bad dudes. My father was a street dude. He just happened to marry an intellectual church girl who calmed him down. My uncles were real bad dudes, And so when I see these people, and, just not very intimidating at all. They just haven't. I thank God, though, but, I do know that it's by the Spirit of the Lord as well, but I think He's also using my upbringing and what I was exposed to cause me to not have any fear. In the beginning, I used to try to show them how much lack of fear I had of them. They would be doing that noise campaign outside. I would go outside and stand in my car, act like I was on the phone. It's just like, I just have no fear of you people. I have all confidence that the Lord is protecting me always. And I don't mean be careless and, and all that kind of stuff, but, I just never had any fear of these people. You look at them and they appear to shy away or look away, and they're trying to be intimidating and imposing, and you look them in the eye and they can't look you in the eye. I'm pretty sure they're going to find some that can now with me speaking on this, but I just, in the spirit, their spirit is very weak, very broken. I wrote a song one time about these gang stalkers, and I've shied away from focusing on them in my music, but at the time, I just wanted to let them know what I thought about them, and I called them jelly spine women and men who are hurting. That's what I see. Because and from my last video, remember I told you all, you're not going to find any affirmed people in this program. You're not going to find any people who are truly connected to God in this program. You may find some who are in error, thinking, oh, how can I help? But they're not going to do like ridiculous stuff like, follow with one headlight. They're not going to break into these homes. They're not going to consistently, or they're not even going to engage in, noise campaign. They're not going to do street theater. They're not going to do this really, and above all that stuff that may even be damaging to a person. They're not going to do V2K. They're not going to do the directed energy weapons. They're not going to do the microwaving. They are not going. Affirmed people will not engage in this program. You will only find the broken, the hurting, dejected, jealous, envious, self-hating, spineless, self-abandoned, soulless shells of people would be engaged in this program. They have no courage. It's all pseudo courage, trust me. They get together and they're like, oh, this is fun. They get together and they say, oh, we have your back. They really don't. The people who are coordinating this thing, they're hoping and waiting and strategizing for many of us to, lose who we are and strike back. And so they have this pseudo courage that they have a backing of a system that they don't have. How idiotic. They've invited evil into their lives and participated in this evil, and it's going to be a boomerang. And I'm not wishing that on them. It's just you sow what you reap. The spirit of judgment, I believe, is out. And I've heard about it. I don't go around seeking what's going on with Judases in my life. Some family members or some I don't call them the family members that I think had an allegiance to me. I don't really call them a Judas, but they are associates and family members that are really going through it. Spirit of judgment is really out. So here's what I want to talk to you about. Let me just get into this. I was going to do a multiple Stranger Things kind of occurrence, but I'm just going to focus on one because I don't want to take up too much time. And this one is, I want to let you all know that there's a great, first I want to let you all know there's a great documentary out on Netflix. And it is about the dangers of social media and the damage to the dangerous human impact of social media, right? It's called The Social Dilemma. The Social Dilemma, and it's currently on Netflix. I would suggest that you all watch this because what I have noticed and what I believe God has shown me and what I have even experienced, and might be mindful, I dismiss all this stuff because I know, again, it's manufactured. I know it's quite middle school and high schoolish, that these people frantically run around trying to orchestrate and strategize just to cause you, I guess what they want to cause you is mental anguish. It is the most adolescent bizarre thing I've ever seen. Demonic adolescent bizarre thing. So they're frantically running around trying to make partnership and connections with social media content creators. And what they do is, and I know this to be the case because I'm going to tell you why in just a bit, but they make partnerships with these people. They pay them. We all know this kind of stuff. They pay them. They reward them. And they feed them information concerning you. Something recent, something familiar that you are going through or that you know about, or that's something that's very familiar to you that's recent. They feed these people the information. And those content creators try to seamlessly add them into their content. It could be the thumbnail, the image you see, or it could be throwing in information and while they're delivering a message, right? But it's specific to you, and the whole, the entire video may not be concerning you, but you'll know early on that it is something that they've thrown in with the people that you are following, that you're subscribed to. And this is not anything new. I know I'm not giving you anything new. I'm really just trying to shore up some people who may feel like, oh my gosh, this is, am I unraveling? You're not unraveling. This is, again, manufactured and orchestrated. they are frantically running around trying to make these connections and make sure these videos get out that speak to us, that trigger us, that information is almost like, it is, I think, akin to directed conversation, but it's in a social media form. Categorized as online harassment still. This just cause you anguish and that kind of thing. But please know, you are not losing it. Again, it is this program, it is these people, and this next Netflix documentary speaks to the dangers of this thing, of how they want to indoctrinate you, how they funnel information your way to impact you, to steer you. They want you to consume a particular thing. Consume meaning view and listen to a particular subject, right? They want to continue. They want, like I said in a previous video, they want that tentacles everywhere to undermine, forestall destinies, forestall progress, those type of things. Let me see. And I was going to put up some examples, but I really don't even have the motivation to do it. I don't even want to go in and pull those samples that I was going to do, because I think that you all will know what I'm talking about. I'm not the only one. This stuff, they don't really have much new. They do the same things to us all. I'm astonished that this program has gone on for so long, because they're doing the same things day after day. Nothing new. No, I'm having a hard time understanding how this thing has persisted for so long, but I understand that it's been uncovered. Undercovers. Let's see. So what I do is just simply unfollow the people, because once you prove yourself to be able to be manipulated, I just unfollow. And I've also just decreased my time online, because number one, I don't really like them making money off attempting to cause suffering. I have a real disdain for that. So I just unfollow, but it doesn't, again, impact my spirit and my heart. I know that these are, some of these people might even be unaware. I saw a post, guys, about how some people really do think that they're accepting an opportunity for acting or commercials. For instance, say you're having an issue at work, and you may work at what? Let's say a restaurant. Let's say Red Lobster. And one of the people you are subscribed to do a commercial do a short commercial for Red Lobster, and they kind of laugh and giggle around, and they might throw in some things that you are familiar with, that you are facing, but all the while these people have been given a script, think they're simply doing a commercial and receiving payment, and thinking they're just growing and appreciative of an opportunity. But what's actually happening is this program has reached out, probably already have some kind of partnership with a Red Lobster. I'm not saying they do, but just for instance, they may already have a partnership with Red Lobster, and they say, hey, reach out to these people, or they may have a representative from the program for Red Lobster. We'll reach out and give them an opportunity to do a commercial that targets someone, harass someone, and pay them. And all the while they're thinking they're just doing a commercial. So that's another instance. And so I did want to share that with you, just to shore up your mental health, to say that you are not going crazy, you are not unraveling. Once again, it's a strange kind of strategy with this program, adolescent, high schoolish kind of approach, or strategy rather. And you know what else I think, guys? There's been quite a few situations where I see TIs calling other TIs fake and calling them perps. And I have thoughts about that too, real quick, if I may share. One thought is, so my situation is I write notes in my phone and I create devotions. I might create them ahead of time. Just pray over them. Ask the Lord which I should submit first or post first, and that kind of thing. I hear one TI who is kind of consistently sharing similar information as myself. I don't think that we would communicate the same, but we appear to be communicating much the same. And and I'm saying that just because my psychology history, I have a work history in psychology, and but my area of expertise would be psychology and public health, right? So, but I don't think we would communicate the same. What I think is at play, V2K. I don't really go to the first that he's a perp. I don't sense that in my spirit. I just feel like it may be V2K. He's a victim of V2K, and they want you to think that this person is a perp and that everyone's against you, and then you know, they can use us to undermine and destroy one another. Makes that work a little lighter, you know. Please be mindful to kind of pray over something. Use discernment before attacking other TIs. It really could be V2K, and that person really does require grace and prayer. And so I've been slow to speak and just been praying over matters, or just really relinquishing it, really. You know, if you're just taking the information and sharing, that might be better. You have more followers and reach more people. Okay, so please be praying over these situations, you know. And one other thing is that I would like us to really get behind Anna from Targeted Justice. She's not just somebody who's, you know, being supportive, processing these matters, you know, talking about something. She's on the ground. She's going before legislators. She is, you know, standing before, going door to door, rather, in particular neighborhoods, and passing out information concerning this thing. I just ask and plead with you to watch her content. She gives such great advice of how we can move this thing forward to freedom, towards freedom. So please tell her thank you, and support her in any way that you are capable to support her. You know, she is really on the front lines. And I keep saying, I mean, I hope I'm not out of line by saying this, but, you know, if these coordinators were smart, I would give Anna her freedom and pay her and send her on her way, because without her, I mean, I don't know, we would be talking about this online forever. Anna's out here on the streets working. You know, she's not just processing it and talking online, you know. She is really, you know, putting actions to this thing. She is going before legislators. She is equipping us on what things we should be doing, and that leads me to tell you that if you don't already know, that she's suggesting that you request a FOIA. I hope I'm saying that right. What is it? You know, the Freedom of Privacy Act report, FOIA request, and that is FOIA.gov. And she's asking that we put in a request for the FBI, the CIA, and I believe I believe that's it. I put in a request, an additional request for the FCC, meaning I want to know if there's been any type of things requested in terms of, my devices, my communication devices. So I put in a request for that as well. She thinks that will prove beneficial in gaining information that would speak to holding people accountable, but also speak to, in the end, when lawsuits are filed, we can say, well, this information is what is illegal acts, or these erroneous information was submitted to classify me in such a way. That's probably a better way to do it. So please, guys, ignore Satan's employees. They absolutely don't love themselves. I'm acquainted with a few of them. They don't love themselves. They're quite pretentious because this program wants them to seem like they just, got it all together. They have none of it together. I know a few. They are quite self-loathing. They are the most self-loathing people I've ever encountered, actually. They're very envious about your acceptance of self, your contentment, your love and connection with the Almighty. Ignore them. They deserve all the ignoring you can muster. I remember walking past one just prior to me being in the program, but I might have already been in the program. I'm not sure, but it was a neighbor. She positioned herself in my path with a family member and said, I heard her say, "Watch this," and she doesn't speak to me. So I'm not a very gregarious person, and I'm more comfortable with others initiating, social interaction. But I walked past her, and number one, because I think she was a witch, and not that you can't speak to witches, but at the time I needed more growing in God, but I chose to ignore her, because I don't do those little scenarios well anyway. I'll get you what you want. I wasn't intimidated by you, so I also just thought you were a witch, and I was kind of through with the games and the antics and stuff that they do for attention. It's rather weird. Anyway, they were all aghast, but yeah, one of the reasons that they really cherish being acknowledged and being seen, because they don't feel okay inside. They're just very self-loathing, and ignoring them really triggers them. I mean, if you think about it, you think about the brokenness they're experiencing. Again, only broken people would get involved with this. So we really trigger them. It's like, do they not see me? I'm out here even doing this kind of stuff, and still I'm not seen. Ignore them. Yeah, we don't see you, and I really don't. Most of the time, I'm in my head processing, trying to think of things, and processing new information I might have thought of. Trying to keep my mind on the Lord and the goodness of Him and His Word. I'm not concerned about the orchestration of this and the manufacturing of these events, of telling Walmart workers not to speak to me, and Walgreens workers. I have no investment in any of that. I don't care if they speak to me or not. I don't have any investment in it, but I'm a different kind of person. Just, so I just wanted to encourage you all to shore up your health, your mental health. You're not unraveling. It takes a very depraved person to engage in this daily, monthly, year after year. And so it's just yuck to the highest degree to me. So, guys, I'm praying for all TIs. Please stay with it. I'm going to just pronounce this scripture over you. One of the new channels I found added this as a message on one of my videos, and I forgot. I think it's Fear to Faith. I think that's her handle. Exodus 14:14. I prayed over all of you. The Lord would fight for you. You need only to be still. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still in Yeshua's name. And grace and peace to all of you.